Hi there. Happy winter solstice. So, today I want to talk to you about the magic of the winter solstice and the symbolism and power of this day and its connection to the experience that so many of you are having right now. So, the winter solstice marks the day of the year where the day is the shortest and the night is the longest. And after today, the days will start getting progressively longer, bringing in more light. And what's really special about this day and the symbolism and how it can relate to what it is that you're experiencing right now is recognizing that this period of darkness that you're in, for some of you, you're going through a dark night of the soul. You're going through a period where so much is shifting in your life. So many things are falling apart, are falling away. You're feeling unclear about your path. You're feeling unclear about your future. And what this day symbolizes or can symbolize is a beautiful reminder that no matter how dark the night is, the sun is coming back. And not only is the sun coming back, not only is the light returning, it's going to be returning to you with even more beauty, even more power, even more clarity, even more divinity than anything that you ever could have imagined before. So I want to read something that my friend Alicia put in our group chat this morning that just really touched me, and I want to share it with you because it really illustrates what it is that I've already said, and I'm going to be diving a little bit more deeply into some of the beautiful bits of poetry that she shared in this piece of writing that she gave us. So she says, "Winter solstice reminds us that seeds do not bloom in light first. They bloom in pressure, darkness, and trust first. Do not rush to fill the silence winter provides. Silence is where the new architecture is being drawn. From this solstice forward, light will return incrementally, not as a sudden breakthrough, but as clarity that feels quieter and truer. The next season is not about becoming more, it is about becoming exact. Hold paradox without panic, move slowly without self abandonment, choose creation from destruction. What is being destructed in you in your life during this season? Creation does not oppose destruction, it uses it. You cannot create from what is falling apart, you create from what stays present while it falls apart. What is here when I stop trying to fix, save, explain, or force anything? What remains, that's your creation material. In winter consciousness, creation looks like refining instead of expanding, listening instead of announcing, selecting instead of accumulating. Most people try to build while still emotionally entangled with what's collapsing. That leads to recreating the same pattern in a new costume. This season asks for something more surgical." And that was just so beautiful. And if you want to follow Alicia, her Instagram handle is fearless underscore limitless 777. And so you can check her out on Instagram and see more of her beautiful wisdom. And what I really love about this is just so many things, so many lessons about not rushing to fill the silence and just really trusting where you are right now, trusting what is coming up for you in this moment of your life, this season of darkness that you're in, because there's so much wisdom and there's so many gifts and so many gems that are available to you if you're able to pause and stop trying to be somewhere other than where you are exactly in this moment. And I know how challenging and difficult it can be when it feels like you're just in the dark and you have no support and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me, I understand. I've been talking about my own journey over these last couple of years, and I've shared a little bit in some of my videos over these last couple of weeks. And just to kind of refresh, if you're new to my account or you don't recall some of the things that I've talked about, I've gone through and have been going through a very deep, dark, dark night of the soul for these last couple of years where I have pivoted and transitioned out of Hollywood and working as an actress and sort of allowing myself to move away from a dream that I've held for the last 30 years of my life and stepping into deeper embodiment in my work as a spiritual intuitive guide and just being more present in the social media space so that I can share my gifts and my talents and my wisdom and my offerings to people that need me in the collective. And throughout this journey that I've been going through, it has forced me to face parts of myself that have been so painful. And so much resistance has come up because it's really required me to sit and face where I have abandoned myself and where I'm not stepping into my full power and stepping into my full potential, realizing that some previous relationships that I had were not able to come with me where I'm going. These people were not showing up in service or in support, or these people simply just didn't recognize who I am as a person and what it is that I'm doing in this world as it relates to my soul's mission. And I've gone through many periods over these last few years where I've questioned my path, where I've questioned my purpose. I've questioned why I'm experiencing what it is that I'm experiencing, why what has happened to me has happened to me. And it's been very confronting in so many ways. But now I'm at the point in my journey where I'm seeing the light, where things are becoming more deeply illuminated for me, more clearly illuminated for me. And that darkness that felt all encompassing, all consuming, there's a brightness that is coming into my field now that is really, really beautiful. And so much of that has come from the shifts that I've made just in the last few weeks, where I've been stepping more intentionally into my daily practices and showing up daily on social media and just honoring my gifts and talents and fully committing to myself. But the darkness that I've been in for the last couple of years has been such a necessary part of my process. It's been such a necessary part of the shedding that has needed to happen in order for me to let go of what cannot come with me into this new phase of my life, this new phase of my own existence, this dark night of the soul, this winter season. And something that you see a lot of people talking about on social media during this time of year is the reminder that we are in the season of winter. We're in the season of rest and introspection and shedding and letting go. Everything in nature is indicating to us through the leaves falling from the trees, the grass losing its green vibrancy, and animals going into hibernation, and the sounds of nature sort of quieting into this perfect stillness of rest and death and resurrection to lay the foundation for the rebirth that will be happening in the spring. And so for those of us who are in this winter season, and some of us are, externally everything is in winter, at least in the West, but internally some of us are in our spring season. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who are in their winter season. They're in their internal winter solstice. They're in that internal phase of the darkest night where they are navigating death and loss and the shedding that is necessary for them to, like I said, plant those seeds in the future and laying the groundwork for the rebirth and then the harvest that's going to be coming very, very, very soon. And so for those of you that are in this space, it's just a really beautiful reminder that where you are right now is perfect and where you are right now is necessary. Humans have a cyclical nature, just like how nature has a cyclical nature, where we are meant to honor the time that we're in. We're meant to honor the period that we're in. And I understand how it can feel really challenging to be in that space, to be in that space of darkness where you don't know what's coming next. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when the shift is going to finally show itself and reveal itself to you so that you can be out of this space of darkness and into the space of light. But when you plant a seed into the ground, into that womb of darkness, the seed does not stress itself over when it will begin to germinate and sprout. It doesn't stress itself over the fact that there is no light around it. That seed sits in patience and it sits in reverence of the space that it's in, and it slowly will begin to sprout and germinate. And then that little bud will very, very gently make its way into the light, and it takes its time. And there's a sense of deep rest in that process that a lot of us in our lives don't give ourselves the chance to experience. And so if you are currently in the space of darkness, if you are in your inner winter solstice of your darkest night, you're going through a dark night of the soul, I need you to hear me when I say that you are coming into the light. The light will return again. That is inevitable. That is a guarantee. That's God's promise that the light will return. But where you are right now is exactly where you need to be, in trusting that what's shedding, what's falling away is leaving you so that it can create space for something new to come into your world, to come into your existence, to come into your field. And so that's just the message I wanted to share with you today. Just a quick little reminder for this winter solstice, and a reminder for this last day of short daylight, coming into this last evening of the darkest night, and remembering that the cycle that we're experiencing as a collective, as well as the personal cycles that we have within us, are always going to shift. They're always going to change. And the light that you're seeking doesn't need to be sought by you, because it's always there, it's always present, and it is always going to return to you. Let me know how you feel about this message that I gave you today. Share with me in the comments below how it landed in your heart, and how it landed in your mind, how it landed in your womb space or your creative space, and how it feels to just remember and be reminded that trust is the most important part of this dark experience that you're going through, and remembering that there's so many gifts in this space that you're in, if you can allow yourself to be present with where you are, and not be so insistent that the next phase or the next place is where you want to be. Because if that was where you were meant to be, that's where you would be right now. But where you are right now in this moment is exactly the medicine that you need for your soul's evolution. So thank you so much for being here, for listening. My name is Andrea. I've been releasing videos every single day here on YouTube to give you whatever medicine that it is that you need to hear on this particular day. And for this winter solstice message, I'm sending you so much love, and I'm sending you light for those of you that are in the darkness, and just a beautiful reminder that you're exactly where you need to be. Sending you so much love. Be well, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.